Coming up next on Sister to Sister, this is our third season, our 74th show. 500 questions. Are you kidding me?
I can't believe it. But stay tuned for some great questions like maternity leave. That's M-E. Should we have policies, laws on maternity leave? Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to Sister. If you have never tuned into this show before, guess what? This is our third season. We are thrilled to be together and mostly thrilled to be with you. We are a group of women with strong biblical principles, and that's how we look at the world and problems of the world and questions that you send us. Today's questions are really interesting, girls. We're gonna just get going right to it. Okay, this is our third season. We're excited. So we've had a bit of a break. We haven't been shooting, so we haven't been together. What have you all been doing? What's going on? Anybody?
What you doing, Corri?
I'm exhausted.
Summer.
I'm barely awake right now.
Well, I think seasons come and seasons go, and as you get older, you see that. And so when I saw this question, I thought, well, what have you been doing since the break, Kathy? So many things. We had my husband retired, God bless him.
Oh,
yeah, it was so good. He's had enough working on his sprinkler company. My mother, her care is taking a lot of time. I have a new little baby, a miracle baby in my life, and my son moved home from Atlanta and lives with us. So I am no longer empty nest. But it's all good.
Your baby is your grandma, right?
Yes.
You didn't have a baby.
No. My daughter, this is her second baby, and it's such a miracle because her son is 9. So now we have this tiny baby. So thanks for asking and caring.
My summer has been, you know, obviously with the kids at home, so busy, where I'm actually in charge of the structure and the fun and all the food. And so when school just recently started, I'm telling you what, that bus sound when it comes by, I'm like, woohoo! Yeah, back to bus, back to school, back to structure, back to
You're in charge
life.
of the food, you said?
Oh yeah, they're like every day, Mom, what's for breakfast? What's for lunch? What's for dinner? What's for snack? What's for drink? And I'm like, I can't do any more food.
Yeah, you're not that good.
I'm not that good.
I feel the opposite though. Like I cried yesterday. I was like really sad. Like, but I like that we don't have a schedule in the summer. I like that we just kind of go with the flow. And we stay up late. And we don't have to set alarms. And we do what we want. And we travel and we run to the beach and this and that. I just love that. And then once school starts, it's like driving to sports and homework and all this stuff. So I'm gonna miss the summer.
Uh-oh. What about you, Roxy?
Oh, I've been busy. A couple of jobs.
Yeah,
And a couple of grandkids
That's a good thing.
fill my life with joy.
Amen. Amen to that. And are you missionarying around the world?
Well, I
made a
think
bird.
we really do the missionaries a disservice when you guys call me a missionary, because
I'm sorry.
I'm definitely not a missionary, and I want to honor them because I am like looking for a hotel with air conditioning when I go, and
She's honest.
and all the luxuries. So you know, missionaries really make where they are traveling their home, and so I honor them with that. Now, have I done ministry with the summer? Yes, but I am very so much like Corri. I enjoy just not having that strict schedule. I love the liberty of the summer, and I just enjoy being free to do what I want to do and spending my time with the children and the grandchildren. And you know, I think my granddaughter turned into a fish over the summer, but I think we've successfully did that exchange right before school started back, and you know, so I just had a wonderful, relaxing time. It also gave me a time, interesting enough, to reflect on my own schedule, and so believe it or not, I rearranged my schedule for the end of the year, canceling a lot of things out Some of you may be a little upset with me, but I just needed that time to step away and hear God. And so just a different season, but my summer was good.
Well, I think that you at home might be able to identify with one of us on our travels and all of the adventures of the sisters. And speaking of our sisters, we all try very hard to look beautiful when we sit here. But guess what? When we sit here.
Yeah.
But there was a piece in the online news vehicle called The Telegraph, and it says here, is it sexist, not sexy, sexist, to tell women that they look tired at work? Ugh.
I don't think it's sexist. I think it's rude.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but I don't think that it's sexist. What I'm thinking of is probably they're used to a woman showing up with her makeup all on and all put together, and so when we walk in, otherwise, it's kind of like. Hi.
Yeah. You wouldn't say it to,
Are you okay today? How you feeling? You know, so it shocks them. But is it sexist? I would have to say.
We
no.
wouldn't say it to a guy.
Right.
That's, I think.
Yeah.
No, we would just flat out say, "You look bad. What happened? You all right?" You know.
I tried to go to church one time without eyeliner. Seriously, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try the natural look. No eyeliner. First thing someone said to me, oh, you look really tired. And I'm like, done. That experiment's over. Eyeliner on. But why? My question is why? Why is it that men, they don't wear makeup and you don't notice a thing? Why is it that we have been trained as a society that a woman without makeup looks tired?
Right.
Well, we train them
It's a
that way.
social training.
Yeah, we train them.
See,
that way.
I think the women look great at work and going to work, and I think the men look tired. I mean, I'm thinking of a couple. I think, man, they look really tired, and they need to
need
get
lashes.
some rest. So
Get a little
yeah, I don't think
makeup
it's sexist at all. I think like Flo said, it's rude.
But I think women show being tired more than a man because, like Corri said about the eyeliner, if you don't have makeup on, you do feel like your eyes look tired.
Right.
Yes.
So I don't think a guy has that same sense.
I think a guy doesn't have the same grace as how I see it. I mean, he walks in, if he's not put together, if he's not looking like Mr. GQ, he looks bad, you know? And most of the time, people are going to acknowledge that, like, you all right, George? Everything okay? How's things at home? You know, with the woman, it's kind of like you on your way into the ladies' room. Do you need to borrow my blush? You know, so it's kind of like, you know.
I did like the article because I think there is a natural tendency, a cultural tendency, to focus on a woman's looks
That's right.
and a man's competency. So if we don't say, well, she was professional today, we are, you know, maybe attractive. But I do have to say, when I don't wear makeup, I get the question every time.
Are you okay?
So,
Or
right,
are you
so,
sick?
so why don't you look at my work product
Yes.
and my competency instead of the attractiveness?
Amen.
So I think that there is a natural cultural bias to look at the woman's looks first. I think it's starting to change, as Flo said. People are starting to look at men now that so many men are in magazines and so on. But I appreciated this article because it brought to the attention, stop asking people if they're tired.
Well, it brought to my attention,
You
get
don't
enough
care
sleep.
about
But
them.
like even for men, what does it require them to look good? A nice suit, a good haircut, you know.
Right.
Clean.
Just like, yeah, that's all, you know. But for the woman, it's like, you know, you can have on a beautiful outfit, your hair can be together, but you look unfinished
Right.
Yes.
without your makeup.
Right. Well, I'm going to move on, talking about women and how we deal with the world. This was a really interesting article, too. And it was talking about maternity leave. And there's a woman, someone can tell us about the article. It was in, gosh, it was in one of the publications. And a lady actually wrote a book, and she took a maternity leave.
Maternity leave is actually short-term disability. So it's a medical leave of absence
Corri.
that a
That's
doctor
right.
signs you out for a medical reason.
right.
Yeah.
Maternity is, you're not just getting time off. This is a medical reason why you're off of
the
work.
woman, just to clarify, for the article, the woman was jealous, or I don't know if jealous is the right word. She was resentful for all the women that took maternity leave.
But they're not
and she
taking
didn't have a
anything.
baby.
They're not taking anything. They are medically being excused for having a medical procedure that their body has to recover from. That's why they're taking the time off.
She was going a little farther with it as well. Like when you have to say, well, I need to leave early because I got to go pick up little Johnny or Johnny's sick, that kind of thing. And she's like, well, so what about when my best friend is having a meltdown because she had a bad experience with something and I want to go and spend time with her, you know, and minister to, well, I won't say minister to her, but you know, she wasn't saying minister. She said throw back margaritas.
Yeah, because that's what every woman on maternity leave is doing, throwing back margaritas.
But I think it is a real indicator of things just gone wild, just real imbalance. You know,
I don't think it's
mean, medical leave, as I can't say anything any better than what Corri already said, so I don't need to be redundant. I think we're just so out of balance, and I think it is looking at things through a narcissistic view. And some people may think that's kind of harsh, but I really do feel that that's what it is.
After reading it, I thought girls need to take care of themselves, though. You shouldn't get to that point where you need a year and a half off because you're just so like exhausted or mad or angry at work. Like you need to do something weekly that's refreshing your soul and your being so that you can go to work and be productive or be a mom, whatever it is, whether you need a maternity leave or a maternity leave. You've got to take care of yourself so that you can help others.
It was a jealous thing, though, Amy. She was jealous that her coworkers.
She was burnt out on work.
Well, she was burnt out, yes. But I'm looking at the stay-at-home mom and the working mom and the jealousy between women instead of being happy that lady could take off and be with her child for 12 weeks. She was resentful. I needed two. So I'm not about that.
Well, that's our society is like that now. It's all like if somebody else has something, I should have it. And that is not a healthy society.
Whether I legitimately need it or not. There's nothing wrong with you. I mean, now and then I think you do need personal days. You do need to take a day off. Hey, I'm all about the spa. You know what I mean? So, but I don't think you need maternity. That does not equate with somebody who's just had a baby and who's, as you already well said, somebody's body is healing from a medical procedure, you know, all of that. There's no comparison.
And these moms, they're up all night long. I mean, what is there to be jealous of? They're up all night long.
Well, I wasn't up all night long, but I know there are
Talk about tired.
Right. And that does revolve around health, sick leave, medical leave. There's personal leave for her. I think that the people that go on maternity leave, though, having single friends, have to be careful that their world and work doesn't revolve around talking about their children and their maternity illnesses. I think they need to be a little bit more sensitive to those that don't have children, to their needs, instead of if they focus less on it at work. I think it'll be a lot easier for the two to get along.
If that's what you're interested in and that's part of your life, why should you have to edit that out so that other people feel comfortable?
I think it's being considerate.
I
understand being considerate, but like if you're interested in tennis and you talk about tennis, I'm not going to be mad at you because I'm not a good tennis player.
I'm tired of hearing about tennis.
I'm not tired of hearing about any of this. I wonder how you feel about this. These are the kinds of subjects that you write into us and tell us to discuss, and we do. And we'll be right back after this.
Tennis.
Welcome back. You're watching Sister to Sister, and as always, we are having excited debates. And this next question is a good one too, and I'm going to read it exactly how it is so that you get it. I want to be, this came from a viewer. I want to be a happy mom. Okay, we all do. I want to have my kids want to be around me, but I'm afraid that I'm always taking care of everyone and everything else, and that I don't stop to enjoy my kids. So what do? I think we all do this.
It's kind of hard for me to answer that one because right away my mind goes to what age are her children? You know, because when she's saying I want them to want to be around me, they must be at an age that they can express, or they have done something to make her feel that they don't want to be around. Right.
Any teenager.
You know, and I would say to her that yes, definitely, you know, have some balance with her. Being involved with other things and other people. However, a teenager's, honey, they don't want to be around you anyway.
Right.
I mean, my first thing I thought was, then if that's what you want, then stop and be with your kids.
Right.
If that's what you want, you have to make that happen. That it's not going to be like some, you know, kids are going to be suddenly like, Mom, spend time with me. But if you stop the other things and make the time for them, they might be hesitant at first if they're teenagers.
Absolutely.
But I mean, you blink and they're gone. Like I saw my kids getting on the
right,
bus.
Corri.
My son is 14. I saw him getting on the bus and I picture him as this little 5-year-old getting on the bus for kindergarten. And I'm like, how did that happen? How did 10 years go by and he is a teenager? So stop and involve your kids. It does not mean you don't need to volunteer anymore. It doesn't mean you don't need to clean your house anymore. Involve them, make it fun. Involve them in your ministries. Spend your time with your kids or leave the dishes in the sink and go snuggle on the couch with
How
them.
is cleaning house fun?
Yeah,
ever?
no, no,
What's
no,
me
Corri.
cleaning house? You put on music, you dance.
dance.
We do that. But I think to this mom, say no to the wrong things and say yes to the right things, because there's so many things that are fighting for our attention. Work, husband, church, kids, extracurricular activities, birthday parties. I mean, I had to say no to like a ton of birthday parties and invites. All
thanks a
kids,
lot, Amy.
all over the places. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't show up. But you know what I mean? So because it was ridiculous. I'm like, no. And tonight and like Sunday night, Monday night, we're having family night. Y'all aren't going anywhere. Don't invite friends over. This is for us. Or this is the night. Let's have all the kids over. You know, just like kind of being more proactive about your schedule and your time.
I think so. Say no when you need to say no. And I think women have a tough time doing that. And
I know,
I
we
also,
definitely
I
did
have
that.
to
We
say
did the
too
family
this,
time.
you
Yeah,
know,
sorry.
don't forget, Proverbs 31 woman was a very, very busy woman. She did a lot of things. But I think what she started out with, which I am still learning at this late age, is the law of kindness was on her lips. And she smiled at the future.
Yes.
She didn't fret. She didn't have anxiety in front of her kids. She didn't do those things that all of us tend to do and go to first because of her own nature. Start with a great attitude, whether you're cleaning, cooking, working, whatever. If you have a great attitude about the kids, will catch on.
So I
Like to be
hope
with you.
that whoever sent us that question can get that Proverbs 31 in their heart. That was good. I'm going to go on to this one too because I think this is pertinent to kids. And a recent Good Housekeeping article claims parents of this generation are not strict enough. What do you think?
I feel like I know the answer you all would give. Because me, Flo and I know we're the same.
Oh, yeah, you're sisters
Yeah.
from a
They're
different...
not strict enough.
I think
I
they're not
agree.
strict enough.
I agree.
You do?
I do.
Oh, I'm
I
shocked.
think they're
I'm
not
shocked.
strict enough
I'm
now.
shocked.
Now I need to
I'm
be
not
more
sure.
strict.
Right, right.
My husband
Something
would
happened
agree.
over the summer.
I'm pretty. I think I'm pretty strict. I
Are
think.
you?
I think.
No.
But my daughter, who's a
We're
teenager, tells me
being-
I'm
You might-
very strict.
We're
and
being
I'm very-
pegged as not
You may
strict.
be becoming strict because you now you have a teenager, and so things are different. I will say along with that though that there's a lack of consistency as well, and I think parents today find it a lot more challenging. I mean, I came up in a time when whether you were a Christian or not, at least morals were
Yes,
there,
right.
and it was kind of universal. You know, you could talk to people and pretty much find out. I can guarantee you that you were probably raised the same way I was. You couldn't talk back. The neighborhood played a role in your upbringing. You were taught to respect adults. You know, things were not just given to you. You were taught a work ethic where now there's such a strong sense of entitlement. You know, and so you have all of these different things that you're dealing with that, you know, the generation prior to did not have to deal with.
But the entitlement is because, in my opinion, because we're not strict enough.
No, I think it's
I
because the
do.
kids
I
have
think it's
too
also
much, and they just think they're entitled to everything.
But we
'Cause I
give them
see-
too much.
Yeah,
Yes,
we give
yes.
them too much,
Yeah.
Right.
which is
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I think that there's parent peer pressure. I don't think people are
That is
putting the
very
pressure
true.
on, but
That's
I
very
think
true.
we're all like, oh, what's that parent doing? And so many parents, it's so sad. Their kids get to middle school and they're like this. They're so hands off, and I'm shocked. I'm like, how are you
That's a
not
good point.
being involved in your child's life? Just because they're in middle school now and they have a phone and they can do this and that doesn't mean you don't stay
Corri, this
involved.
is a true story. My daughter came home one Friday with a friend of hers who was staying the weekend, whose mother I never spoke to, never knew,
Yeah.
mother never called me. Never.
It shocks me.
And I'm like,
Well,
you
great.
just, I won't give all that out, but you just released your child to a stranger, to a stranger.
I know.
I don't know if my daughter invited her. Till this day, I don't know what happened. And I had to call the mother, and it took a minute, you know, and the mother was just fine with it. She was just fine with it.
Ooh.
You know, it is true. I think I agree with Flo. It's not so much strictness, it's undisciplined and being consistent, as my sister said. And Matthew 24 says, lawlessness is rampant.
That's right.
And the love of many grows cold. The love of many means charity.
That's right.
We're so self-centered, we forget to
teach.
be charitable. So I think that's what happens with children. We self-center, we focus on how am I going to be their friend, what meets all their needs.
That's right.
As they develop, as they grow, they're going to learn by the mistakes that they made, the things that make them more charitable, more giving, more sympathetic to other people. So I think we need to hide that in our heart, to be disciplined, and don't let the lawlessness rule your house.
I know.
That's
Well,
right.
I
It's
think
so
I
well
was
said.
too. I think I was too lenient. But my next question is this: who controls the radio when you're driving in the car? The driver or the passenger?
Very deep.
The kids.
This is a good question. You sent it.
Well, they all wear these earplugs now, so they don't care.
Earplugs?
Or whatever they're called.
Headphones.
Headphones,
Well,
whatever.
that question
I'll never
is.
forget though when my kids were younger and I'm driving and I'm singing along to like the kids' CD and there's no kids in the car and I'm like, I could have turned on my own music this whole time and I'm singing to the kids' song.
Well, this kind of goes along with our questions about whether you're being lenient or disciplining, because if you have a station on and they want their own station on, and then you'll have.
We just don't
conflict.
listen to Toby Mac.
Okay.
okay.
That's good.
Everybody in my family likes Toby Mac, which is crazy because I listened to Toby Mac when I was a teenager. So that man has, you know,
still cool.
some
Toby Mac
skills.
is still cool.
We like rap somehow. Like,
You do?
oh yeah, we're
And
rappers.
you're a rapper too?
Yeah.
Let's hear one.
I can't. You know what? It would make for some good television, yo. Thanks for watching.
Oh, Lord.
It's so bad that like
She has to be in the car. to
all
do
my
it.
kids, and we're all like, yeah, Lecrae and all these
See, so
whoever.
there's Christian rappers out there. So,
There are.
so that you're worried about the lyrics with rap. So you're
well,
on
yeah, I
Christian
like
rap.
the good rappers. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I wish you would have done that whole song about Lecrae. I definitely am not a rapper, but I'm a rocker.
Well, there you go.
I don't know what kind of music you listen to at home, but I hope it's building up the body of Christ and building up Jesus. And that's what we do on this show. Every single week, we come to you with love. There's a number at the bottom of the screen. You can call. Someone's there all the time. And we'll be right back to wrap this thing up.
Psalm 115:1 says, "The Lord has been mindful of us. He will bless us. He will bless those who fear him, both small and great." Do you feel small today? Are you not feeling well because of something you have done in your life? All you have to do is fear the Lord, which means obey him, love those around you, be kind, be patient. And my sisters, you know, when we start turning our focus on the Lord instead of ourselves, we can feel blessed.
That's right. And the whole thing about fear the Lord and love the Lord, it's so interesting. What do you say, Pastor?
Well, I love the part where he is mindful of us. That I just want you to know God's mindful of you. He's thinking about you. You're on his heart. You're on his mind. He loves you deeply. He cares about everything that's concerning you and weighing you down right now. Just pray, give it over to God. He is thinking about you right now.
And the reason we know that is that we have scripture to go to, and we have one that goes like this: as iron sharpens iron, so does the countenance of a man or a sister sharpen the other. They make me a much better Kathy. See you next time.